Drifting is an art form requiring precision driving of a vehicle to slide around a track or even down a mountain at breakneck speeds. While drifting is a time-honoured motorsport that originated in Japan in the 70s, it's only recently been adopted in the late 90s in Western culture, largely thanks to media like the anime Initial D, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and arcade games like Midnight Tune. Project Drift from Integer Games aims to race onto the Switch with a Midnight Tune flair. What's it like? You know what? Don't even get into this car as nothing good will come of it. Let's just find out why. But before we fasten our seatbelts, would you mind liking and subscribing? It's the best way that What's It Like gets some mileage on YouTube, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. Usually, I preface bad reviews by saying that I don't like writing bad reviews, and that's absolutely true, as I understand that behind the start button is a person or a team that has tried hard to make a game that may unintentionally miss the mark. This is not the case here, as Project Drift is an intentionally deceptive title being sold as a product that simply isn't as advertised. We've seen titles like this before in the eShop, and when I was first starting out, one of my videos led to a publisher having to relist their games using the actual gameplay footage instead of the same images from Steam. Project Drift is no different, and it uses its PC screenshots to sell a product that is woefully different from what the screenshots and the product description lead you to believe. The gameplay of Project Drift sees you unenthusiastically race against an opponent through a windy track to defeat them and obtain their car. Despite being called Project Drift, there is absolutely no need to drift, and for those who do, will be at a distinct disadvantage in doing so, as even your opponent will simply pinball bounce off barriers to get to the end of the course. The driving model isn't very intuitive, and you can just hold a button to drift, or you can change your options to inertia drift, which is overly sensitive but allows you to at least drift a little bit better. The entirety of the game can be completed in around 15 minutes. That's right. Unlocking different cars based on real-world JDM cars like the Supra or Silvia. Interestingly enough, the 350Z and the Skyline GTR that features on the core artwork of the game isn't even included in Project Drift at all. The replay feature that's advertised is not in the game. The ability to listen to your own MP3s, which is advertised, didn't work no matter how much I wanted to drift to the Wii Shopping channel music. And the advertised customized race option didn't even allow me to customize a race. Instead, it just went to the normal race mode against the track-specific car. Trees will sometimes pop in, textures rarely render until you're a few meters away, and even the polygons of the environment detail don't really render until you pass them, making Project Drift Tokyo Challenge a very unappealing game graphically. You can select a colour for your car, which sometimes works, and then sometimes leaves half the paint job of other cars on there, leaving you with some interesting paint choices. By default, all of the cars are black, so you don't really see any details on them, as the lighting is almost non-existent, and the game has a very distinct lack of optimization. I think that if more care went into the port of this game, it could look and perform easily like the Steam version of the game. But would that be enough to save it? I'm not really sure, but it may have been a better start to what we have here. Performance-wise, Project Drift is a mixed bag, mainly set back by its engine, no pun intended. There is slowdown in some areas, but the worst offender is, as previously mentioned, the textures and assets like trees just not popping into view until they're almost next to you. For my vision impaired drift enthusiasts, there are no accessibility options. I'd recommend further research if you really want to try this title to find out if it's for you. At $15 marked down to $2 Australian, Project Drift is still overpriced. It's clear since the Steam version retails for $3 that this markup to markdown intends to deceive you as a consumer into thinking you have a bargain on your hands. But make no mistake, Project Drift is a slapdash, zero effort port not worthy of your time nor attention. I'll be emailing Nintendo to ensure that this publisher uploads new screenshots that are actually representative of the final product, and will update this review when they do so. So, what's it like? Project Drift is like buying a second-hand car, and then the engine seizes the second you drive it off the lot. Avoid at all costs. I award it an 18 out of 100. It's just awful. Thank you for watching. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way you can support me is to like and subscribe and continue watching my content if you enjoy it. But if you do want to go that bit extra, you can buy me a coffee or join our Patreon, which shows you behind the scenes of this channel. Thanks again.